What's up, everybody? This is the Mad Reaper here at Mad Reaper Studios, and we are doing a Raven. Um, I don't do a lot of Ravens. This is a commission for one of my VIP customers over in Australia, so hooking them up. But everyone's asked me, how do I paint those shorts on the one in the back there? That's my personal one, and the answer is dry brushing. So, for the basics of dry brushing, you should watch my first video where I'm painting one of Cage's gauntlets, and you'll kind of get a prelim there. Other than that, we'll jump in here, and what I've already done is what the hell am I trying to say here? I've already used the Dremel and cut up some of the detail into the pants here. So these are John Cena pants. The Dremel bit I use, actually, here I can show you that. I use this Dremel bit here. So I went alongside the whole pants, roughed them up. Primarily, I only do this for the bottom, but while I'm at it, I like to scratch up the surface, just barely grazing. It just feels like sandpaper went over it, and I suppose if you don't have a Dremel, you could do that too. And that's primarily to help add some detail for the paint to stick into when you dry brush. Again, from the first video, dry brushing pretty much allows you to lay in highlights on top of a base coat and create that depth that you all seem to love on my Raven jeans. Yeah, that's how we got here. I didn't record that because, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. So the two dry brushing paints I'm going to use, actually, I use a normal base white for mine. What is it? Ceramite white. And Stormfang dry. I got this specifically for these jeans to be a tone lighter. So, I mean, these paints are adjusted towards this color blue. It being a dark basic blue, I wanted a lighter blue to kind of show that weathering. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna try to shake it up, even though we probably don't have to. You can see dry brushing paint is very dry. is very clumpy. So I'm gonna see, this is how it looks on the brush here. And what I like to do is wipe it off on paper towel until I'm only getting a little bit left. Whoops, my brush hit my stand here. So you'll kind of see here how this process works. So that is just a base, so I think we're gonna go in heavier, not wipes off so much paint. And instead of dipping it back into the pot, I put it back on the napkin. Yeah, you can already see it, like that starts to honestly look like denim there. And that's the whole idea here. When I'm chopping up the pants, I'm actually looking to really rough up the spots of actual denim where it would be stressed out at. So like the zipper, the pockets, where people would wipe their hands or whatever. So let's see. I'm focusing more on painting it than I'm recording, so hopefully you guys can see this. Alright. So, I mean, I guess this is an important point where I should probably talk about the actual brush itself. I'm using a Games Workshop small dry brush. I made my own before. You can make your own. If you have an old brush, cut it flat so that these are very stiff and just, like bristles, so that way it can just scrape against the top highlights of your sculpt while not touching the base coat. You're not looking for full coverage here is the point. Dry brushing, I think I said it in the first video, I think it's a very basic trick that every customizer should have in their arsenal, at least, because I mean, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to like playability and stuff, like when you're dry brushing, it gives that a little bit more of a realistic look. And then when you're bending the legs, it doesn't notice it as much because there's no perfection there. Like it's not a flat cover. I mean, no one's jeans are that blue. Some people's are. John Cena's are, not Raven's. So what I'm doing here is just taking some paint from the pot, dabbing it on the napkin a little bit, and I'm just pushing it around with the brush. And you can already see how, like, this looks pretty damn good. And then I go with the light blue first because you want to go in with the white last and add in those highlights. Sorry if my brush keeps hitting my phone there. I didn't really want to spend too much time recording this because I'd rather just use it working, so I'm using my phone for this one. That's literally all we're doing. And we've already covered the front two sides. We have the crotch piece here. I'm painting the belt black, so it's not too big of a deal to me. Yeah, there you go. You can see the front of it now. It just really adds a depth to the paint. Looks way better. So we'll do the back here. And then another benefit to scratching it up with the Dremel is that it really helps already put in another shade of blue. Because the more colors we have inside there, the more the eye is not gonna think it's flat, and that's ultimately, everything's got a bunch of colors, so that's the goal. So I mean, I kind of vary which way I do. I like to go against the grain sometimes, like this here. The grain being, since I went this way, I like to put in some of the paint this way. But if anything, that's really just the beginning, because you'll see with white, I will really only go down vertically, because that's kind of how the denim is milled in real life denim. I mean, that's ultimately what it is here. I look at real denim and try to emulate that. So I got a little bit too much there, maybe. So get the rest of it off, and then I will spread it around. Sorry. Alright, so this is a good thing. I feel like I might have got a little bit too much right here. Not really, but more than I'd like. So I'm going to take a napkin, dab it a little bit, and scrape it off. And we're good. Actually looks a little bit better now. I'll just blend it in. Okay, so let's do a little more here. Just foot isn't in place yet. There we go. Getting his pockets. You know, I honestly just keep dry brushing until it's the brush is pretty much, I guess I hate to say it, dry, but until there's not a whole lot more that there's on the brush. So I'm gonna get up in here. There we go. Okay, I got one leg left to do with the blue dry brush. And yeah, you can see this is a very fast technique. It's really not anything that I'm thinking too deliberately about. I'm really just letting the sculpt finally breathe on its own. So yeah, kudos to Mattel. Actually, it's me that scratched it out, but they made the figure, I guess. Alright, here we go. And just a little bit more on this side I want to do. There we go. God damn it, my brush keeps hitting this camera. But there we go. That is the dry brushing base coat. And it's looking pretty damn good. So now you're going to see us do white. And white is a highlight. So I'm going to use my base. I actually should I should clean my brush. Probably a good habit to get into. I won't clean it that good since it's dry brush. There's not going to be a whole lot of blue on there still, but yeah, I mean, really, you want your brush to be very dry, and that's why it's called dry brushing. So take some white, take a glob of it, put some down here. Alright, so now it's going to be loaded. There's a lot of white. White is something that you wanted to use very sparingly, so for this white here, I'm going to get the edge parts, which is what I Dremel the details in, so it's not smooth. And here we go. You can see I'm just scraping it because I just want to get the little bits of plastic that are hanging out, and that is you know, how we get the look. If you look at Denim, damn, I sound like Bob Ross here. If you look at Denim, there's areas where it's white, you know, white thread within the milling of the actual cotton, and that's really what I'm trying to display right here, is that these are cutoffs because Raven wore cutoffs. So, yeah. grab some more white. This is a good time to subscribe to my channel if you're watching this, and if you're watching me do this, like it right now too, and tell me that you liked it at this point, because I always wondered why all these YouTubers say to like their shit at this point. So yeah, there you can see some white. I'm going to do the same to this side. You can see how nice it, how much the white pops, I guess I should say. It really adds a whole new dimension to the piece. And by not super like drawing out my brush, I managed to kind of get a blend of the two. And yeah, I'm really liking how it looks. Alright, so I gotta do some more white. I guess I got some on a napkin. I should probably just grab that, but there you guys go. You know, you want to use white, I guess, depending on how frayed it is, but this would go the same if you're distressing any jeans. I'll pick up some white for my napkin this time, and I'll paint this whole area inside here later, so really, this is how I'm going to get the whole edges. I'm just going to flare out. And I'll even go a little more in some areas, just to show that it's been ripped a little more. So now that I got very little white left, holy shit, this is already 17 minutes long. I thought this was going to be pretty fast, but maybe that is for a paint job. So you can see like where I bent the legs, and where you can see where the paint has come off on a lot of these contact areas. And luckily, since we dry brush, it's really not a problem because it doesn't look bad. Now I'm going to go in with some white, even more lightly. So like if I went with the blue, and I would say I'd cover, you know, 100% of what I was going over. I didn't get total coverage, you know, within that 100%. But, you know, I went wrong the whole thing. With the white, I'm really only going for the highlights here. So you know, I'm not going to get the other areas of the crotch piece. I'm really just getting the top of the wrinkles. Something to add a little bit more white to. And since there's so little paint on the brush, you honestly can't even tell that there's white in there. Maybe you can a little bit, but you guys know what I mean. There we go. That's actually bugging me a little bit, so I might have to show you guys what I would do. God damn it, I'm sorry I keep hitting this shit. I'm just going lightly. I'm going these places on these sides because I know that there's not a whole lot of paint on my brush anymore, so, or on my napkin. I'm going to do the pockets. And you'll see that I'm really, when I'm loaded with paint, I'm really only going down. That is the denim effect. I'm going to load up one more time, and then we should be good. This video's 20 minutes, so if you guys watched this, thank you. You guys, I made it for you guys that needed to know this, wanted to know this. I always like when you guys tag me in the projects and said, you know, that something that I've done helped you guys, because it's kind of a pain in the ass making these videos otherwise. So yeah, there we go. And you know, the biggest thing is, I would say, make sure you want it to be imperfect when you're painting like this. Denim is not perfect, and actually the more imperfect it looks, the better it looks. This little streak right here is bugging me, so I'm gonna fix that real quick. I'll fix it on camera so you guys can see it. But what I'm gonna do is take one of my sanding sticks, sand it up there. Boom! Look at that. You guys don't even know it. I'm gonna add a little bit more white right here, if I may. So I just like this area to be more white because it really shows that you know, it's distressed. You can kind of see dust literally coming off of the brush, because that's how dry the paint is. And there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see here. I might actually go in with just a tad more white, and then I might come back in with the blue to my liking. But at this point, you could even consider it done. I'm just going for a little bit of the highlights like that. You can see how I just scraped the very top. And if more than anything, I'm wanting just to get that patterning in there. Okay. I'm gonna dry out my brush real quick. I'm gonna grab that blue again. I want to cut in just a little bit more blue on this area here. There we go. Done. What do you guys think? We knew no two pairs will look alike. Actually, I'm going to go back again, grab some white, and touch up the edge just a little bit more. I promise we'll call it good. These are happy cuts here. If you guys don't know who Bob Ross is, that's a painting instructor that Deadpool is acting like in the latest trailer. I'm going to be repainting the knee pads anyways, so looks like we're good there. Yeah. Alright. There you guys go. Those are how you do the Raven pants. Dry brushing from front to bottom, beginning to end. Quote the Reaper, nevermore.